Get it. Oh, good evening. On this new episode of Wanderings of Don, I'm your host, Donnie Maggs. This is the 18th of March, the year of our Lord 2023. And I hope you're having a good Saturday evening. Okay. Welcome. Well, I don't know. It's been a day or two since I did one of these. Devils are, they're on a tailspin right now. They lost their third in a row. If you care much about that, the NCAA tournament. If you care about that, which it's been a fun, exciting tournament. It usually has some definite good games. My bracket got blown up completely earlier today with the Duke loss because I had them winning the championship, which was definitely a stretch, a bit of a stretch. You never take a young team, particularly one that with a first year coach. I mean, again, it's Coach K's, players, and Shire's been there for a while, and young, first time coach. But the big thing, and I think I got caught up in the hype of choosing a team that's on a hot streak, and usually we like to do that with playoffs. I mean, the playoff type tournaments, championship runs usually have a team that wins is one that gets hot, and sometimes a team that's been hot for a while kind of peters out. I get they played a Tennessee's a good defensive team, but no, just couldn't get it started. So that killed my main bracket. So I'll probably do some, maybe, I don't know, some joke brackets. But again, we're almost through the third. This weekend's always the best weekend. So, but it's been a fight. I mean, another number one went down. I thought Houston was going to do it. They finally righted the ship towards the end of that game and won it. I thought that we were going to have three number ones done with just Alabama, and they're playing right now against Maryland. So let's see what happens there. Anyway, I don't even spend much time with the sports and stuff. I want to talk about mainly today, give better impression of Diablo, the Diablo IV Beta going on right now. Basically, if I'm going to give my thoughts on it, or a quick overview, I have to admit, I'm actually, the game's gotten me quite excited. It seems to me that it's kind of like some people were saying that it seems to be a return to a more classic feeling Diablo. It does have that feel. You can definitely feel though some of the connection to a little bit to Diablo 3, but I mean most of it overall is more of a throwback to the more classic Diablo, darker. There's a lot of blood and gore in the game. It's got an interesting story thus far. I actually earlier today when I was playing, almost was like, you know what, maybe I shouldn't. Maybe I should stop playing. I mean, I played a lot, a decent amount of it. I got to like the first main city, kind of. I forget what the hell the city's called. Um, it's where you end the end of the prologue, and I was like, maybe I should stop playing because I don't, you know, don't want to go through the whole, learn a lot about the storyline and have to not that it's obviously a bad thing to replay it when it comes out. I think in June, but um, it. I was like, didn't want to spoil more, more of the storyline. Story is obviously an important thing, but I pressed on, and the thing I found out was that in the beta there is an issue. Um, oh, cool. So there was there's something cool I found out, and that is there are beta rewards for playing. One is to get, I think, through the prologue to the first main town in the game. The second thing, there's two other rewards that you get for hitting level 20. You can get to a maximum of 25 in the beta. Your I believe there's a character wipe, so you can't carry over your beta character or characters. I think they allow you to make 10 characters. Really, not much reason to make past 4 or 5 because there's only three of the character classes are available, so you can't even play all the characters, the 5 character classes. Number two, you may want to make a hardcore character if you want to mess around with hardcore, which of course has permadeath. You die and that's it. And then maybe you want to change, maybe mess around with another character, maybe that has. I think you may be able to check out the different. I think you can play some of the different difficulty levels, but I found out that you actually, if you get to level 20, you get 2 additional items. One's a pet. So I was like, you know what? And these items do carry over into the game. I think 2 of them are like cosmetic items, and then one's a pet. So now my mission is to get to 20. And the problem I have is that I'm asking this question on GameFAQs. Yes, GameFAQs. It's not Game FAQs. That's the stupid way of pronouncing it. But just throwing shade at Jiggy, who calls it Game FAQ. I know there are people who call it Game. I get it. It's technically correct, but it's much easier to call it GameFAQs. Anyway, so you want to hit level 20. The question I had was, if I don't hit level 20 this weekend, does my character, since this is an early access, this is the open beta. Okay, it's not going to change. They may add more content next weekend. That's possible. Probably unlikely. But it's the same. This is the same beta that I downloaded and played. The only difference is that people that play it this weekend or because they have early access to it, meaning we pre-ordered and we have early access to playing this beta this weekend, and we can play it next weekend. So what I think is that our characters, for those of us that played it this weekend, are going to carry over into next weekend. And therefore, if I don't hit 20 tomorrow, I can carry. Because remember, yesterday was basically it was a shit show. Now there are plenty. There are. I've seen level 25s walk around because basically what's fascinating about this is that when you go through the prologue, you're by yourself, and when you finally get to that first town, you do a few. You got to do a few things, and then you will complete the prologue. Um, you have to go and buy an item for this one character, so you start. Teaches you some of the other systems in the game. Such as buying some blacksmith. There's alchemy in this now. You can gather ingredients and stuff. If you, but once you get out of the prologue, all of a sudden you start seeing other players in your game. I'm like, oh shit! It basically plays like a Diablo MMO now. You're no longer alone. So that's a good and a bad thing. Obviously, the bad thing is that I'm pretty sure you're not going to be, now maybe there'll be an option to do it, but I'm pretty sure you're not going to be able to play an offline version of this game. So unfortunately, even if you have the disc version and you're out in Timbuktu or something and don't have any internet access, you're unfortunately not going to be able to play. At least that's a thought. However, on the other hand, it's cool because it's basically like a Diablo MMO, because you see and interact with all the other players at the same time. Now, I don't know how they handle it. I mean, what happens if there's 1,000 players in one zone? MMOs have been able to handle that, but I guess I guess that would be possible. I'd have to see. I don't know if there might be, not servers. I mean, yeah, because you don't pick a server, but there might be instances, basically virtual servers or copies of each other, where they limit, and then if you do play up with a character, you go into their instance or whatever. So there might be a limit. There might be virtual servers or something like that. I'm not exactly sure, but it's quite interesting. It's quite fascinating to see how they've done it. I really am enjoying it. I think it's really well done so far. I'm really excited to continue to play it. One thing that you will definitely see is that it has more of the old school challenge of like Diablo 2. I don't want to say it's just as hard or whatnot, but it's definitely got more of the old. It's the Texas one, okay. So it's definitely got more of the old school challenge. However, you do have technically unlimited healing potions that you use, but you have to pick them up from enemies. You don't get those health globes anymore, but enemies will drop randomly health potions. They disappear after a time. So you have to actually, if you have your max health potion. Now, I don't know if there's a way to increase the amount you can carry, but I think you start with it. Maybe it's base. It might also be different for each character class, but for Barbarian, I have 4. When you get to 10, you will eventually unlock the ability to use you have to get to, I think, to level 10 as well. You unlock the ability to start creating potions. And one thing you can do is create new healing potions. So you actually can create once you create a new healing, like say from a light healing potion to a minor healing potion or something like that, it will heal more. Your healing potions now will all go from, say, light healing potions to minor healing potions. So they'll actually heal more. You get an initial burst of healing plus a healing over time effect. And not only can you do that, you can create other types of potions, all different types of potions that boost different stats for different periods of time. And if you, I don't know if that there's a skill that you raise or you can increase, but basically I think it's based on level and on the ingredients because you need certain ingredients to create these potions. So it's pretty fascinating. You actually can harvest ingredients um, as you go throughout the world. So that's a new thing that's new to Diablo. You never were able to harvest materials. I would assume that in some kind of forging later on, upgrading, forging, maybe creating gems, things like that, there other raw materials will be used. So that's quite fascinating. Yeah, you can. I mean, you can talk. I don't know if you can talk to. I have to see. I didn't really check the multiplayer with the voice chat or anything. I don't know if you can voice chat. You do have emotes that you can use. And there's one quest that shows you how to use an emote. Um, but yeah, I'm quite happy, quite excited that when you bring up the map, it's quite a large. Um, it's quite a large map, and a lot of you get access to a decent amount um, of map. It's a quite a big map. At first, you look at it, it's like I don't know if it's that big, but then you notice you take the area that you've been, and you can see how much bigger the world map is itself. It's quite a big map. And then who knows about what else they're going to be adding on. So it looks like it's quite a large game. And then on top of it, there are these world boss enemies that basically you can come in groups. I think there's like guilds that you can create. I forget what the name of the guild is. They call it something specific. Um, and so you can make or join guilds. Of course, you can get into parties, and or you can just come solo and just help a bunch of players just try to take down a world boss. I didn't get to see or fight because I probably I'm probably way too low to be effective um, killing a world boss, but um, absolutely could. And I guess everybody gets rewards. Like there's those random events that happen at different parts. You can join in with if there's other people doing like one of these random events that pops up. You can join in and help them out uh, in doing it. Um, a note on the uh, how bad they got the servers much better today. Every time I went on, it was like less than a minute for the queue. It still takes even after you get through that initial queue, you still takes a couple of minutes to actually load you up into the world. It's got yeah some 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 of the queue and loading to do. But once you get through that, it only it was nowhere near what it was yesterday. Yesterday was just now a lot of it was probably them or was them um, like throttling basically throttling um, the people logging on the login uh, intentionally because of whatever problem. And again, how you're a company like Blizzard and have this is again you already had a closed alpha or closed beta. You have this is a semi-closed beta. It's the open beta, early access open beta. You're not going to have probably near the amount of people you're going to have next weekend. You're a big company. This isn't your first rodeo, and you're having issues with logins, unless there was some kind of cyber attack or something, or DDoS or something that was the reason. And it's hard to fathom why the heck there were the issues that were yesterday. But I have to give it to them. They did absolutely a better job today. There's no question. I was again, none of them were at all took that long to go through. So uh, I was very very happy. I just hope it sounds like I should be able to. What I'm going to try to do is go through. I don't actually. I went through a bunch more main quests today, and I'm actually at a point where I'd rather just now. You get the chunks of experience you get from doing quests, main quests, uh, are really good. So just going through those, you'll jump through the levels pretty quickly. But you can just go as fast, pretty much just grinding, doing dungeons. That's probably what I should be. That's what I'm going to concentrate on tomorrow. I did hit 11. I'm kind of close to 12, so I'm not that. You know, I can grind out another couple hours, at least a couple hours tomorrow, just grinding out levels, and that's probably where I'm at. I'm probably going to like seriously grind um, tomorrow to just to hit 20, so I can just get those rewards. Um, because it looks like, I mean, somebody was like, well, you probably don't need to. Um, yeah, uh, Somebody answered I asked on GameFAQs whether you had to start over next weekend, but I think it's just the same beta. They're just going to carry your characters over. They're just going to shut it off during the week and reopen it, but with no, um, you know, no gatekeeper, so to speak, of having to have a pre-order, code. So, um, but I'd rather not test it now. I wish they would give us another day, but due to the fact that you know how much of a pain um, it was yesterday. Yesterday was just it was awful, but today was perfectly smooth. So I can't I can't complain at all. In fact, you can see on the picture. Here's my. We really can't see it over there, but there's my level 11. That's what it looks like right now. Pretty badass looking. But um, I actually I'm very much looking forward to it. I think it's going to be a very good game thus far. The quality of life stuff in there. The only thing that's to me is a partial issue that I'm not crazy about is that they took the dodge roll from the third one. You have it in this one. You have to hit on the PlayStation controller. It's the circle button. They You can't spam it anymore. It has a 5 second cooldown, just like anything else. Just like other a lot of other uh, skills. So it's not as useful a defensive tool. Sometimes you use it offensively to close ground or use it defensively. So you pretty much, you're going to be taking more. Um, you're going to be taking more damage uh, in the game. Again, I guess it's a balancing issue. Um, I maybe would have reduced the cooldown. Now there are items that can actually reduce the cooldown. Like there was some kind of perk or something I think that reduced cooldown. or maybe it was an item that by 0.5 seconds, but I got. But still, um, that's the one thing I'm not completely crazy about. So that was one change. It's yeah, it makes it so it's more, yeah, it's kind of a dash, not even a roll. I don't think it has invincibility frames. It might not. It's useful for getting particularly large enemies, getting behind them, dashing like through them to get behind them. It's useful for that. It's not really much of a defensive tool because it'll get you out of a situation quickly. True, but um, again, only useful every 5 seconds. So it's something perhaps they'll tweak. Maybe it's based on character class. Again, I've only played barbarian so far. I'm sure the characters have passives or whatever that can affect her. Maybe it's innate. It's innately different between different characters or whatnot. But I have no idea. But yeah, it's really nice. I did stream it a few times. Unfortunately, I streamed it like 20, 30 minutes each time, so it kind of short streams because I usually had something to do, or I didn't really have any issues. I did get a disconnect. I got my first disconnect when I was about to when I was doing this quest. Um, and luckily it respawned me. I had to backtrack and do a little bit that I had already done, but it was just minor. It was just a few conversations with some NPCs and then moving forward into the next area. And then there was one time where I had that weird um, thing where your character like moves back real quick. Like you go into a room and then all of a sudden you're like you can't, he quickly moves backwards back to where you just were. Uh, Kind of like the game, the connection like lagged for a second or a couple of seconds, and then now you're and it resets you back to where you were. And it's a weird effect. If you ever seen that? Which I did see in Diablo 2 Resurrected. I have gotten that happen several times. It's kind of dangerous sometimes because um, you can be fighting something, or it can knock you back into an area. Maybe you're trying to run from something. Um, so it's a little weird, but overall, I think it's been very fun. I'm looking very much forward to it, and I would definitely recommend if you're a Diablo fan, barring anything else, to check it out, especially next week. I mean, it doesn't hurt. The only thing that's going to suck is especially, I think, yeah, and the PS4 version is only like it's like 40 gigs. The PS5 version is like 77 gigs, and I think the PC version uh, is even more. It might be 80, something like that. It's the only thing is it's a lot to download. But check it out and see if you like it. I'd very much enjoy it. I'm gonna again try to hit 20 tomorrow. Um, got about 7.5 levels or 8.5 levels, whatever it is, and then I'll see. I'll probably update you tomorrow on where I got. So that's pretty much it I have from tonight. So I'll be checking out again. Diablo hack and slash looters games are one of my favorites, just like Metroidvanias and RPGs. My favorite. So I'm very much looking forward to this. All right, so I guess that's it from me from tonight. Thank you for stopping by, checking it out. I'll see you next time, maybe tomorrow night, especially if I make progress in the beta. And probably on Monday I'll return. I don't think I'm going to play Trails or anything else besides Diablo tomorrow. So I'll get on my other games tomorrow. So thanks a lot. I'll see you next time, whenever that is. Um, have a good night. May the Lord be with you, and I'll see you then.